They mocked him. They abused him. They said a boy with Down syndrome could never become anything. But 25 years later, the same child they called useless walked into a boardroom, and every executive in that room stood up because the boy they once broke was now their president. In a small town on the outskirts of Enugu, a child named Daniel was born on a rainy night. The nurses whispered before handing him to his mother, "Your son has Down syndrome." The room fell silent. His father didn't say a word. He simply walked out of the hospital. For many people in the community, a child like Daniel was seen as a burden. But to his mother, Grace, he was a miracle. She held him close and whispered, "You may be different, but God does not make mistakes." Daniel grew up slower than other children. His speech took longer. His learning was harder. But he had something many people around him lacked: a heart full of innocence and kindness. When Daniel turned 8, his mother began working night shifts at a nearby clinic. They needed money to survive, so Daniel often stayed with a trusted neighbor, or at least someone they thought they could trust. That man was Mr. Okoro. At first, everything seemed normal, but Daniel started changing. The cheerful boy became quiet. He stopped laughing. He avoided eye contact. And one night, Grace noticed something strange. Daniel woke up screaming, but he couldn't explain why, because Daniel didn't have the words to describe what was happening. The abuse continued for months, silently, hidden, until the truth finally came out. One evening, Grace returned home earlier than usual. She heard something inside Mr. Okoro's house, Daniel crying. The door was locked. When she forced it open, she saw something that would haunt her forever. Her son trembling in the corner, and the man they trusted standing over him. Grace screamed. Neighbors rushed in. Police were called. Mr. Okoro was arrested, but the damage had already been done. Daniel stopped speaking for nearly 2 years. When Daniel turned 12, his mother enrolled him in a special education school. Most teachers struggled to connect with him, except one, Mrs. Amina. She noticed something strange about Daniel. He struggled with reading, but when it came to numbers and patterns, his mind worked differently, almost brilliantly. He could remember prices, calculate totals, recognize patterns in seconds. One day she told Grace something unexpected. "Your son might not learn like other children, but he has a gift," Grace cried that day, for the first time in years. But this time, they were tears of hope. At 16, Daniel started helping his mother sell food in the market. He couldn't read most of the labels, but he remembered every single price. Customers were shocked. Daniel could calculate totals faster than a calculator. Soon people began saying, "Go to Grace's stall. The boy there never cheats." Trust built their reputation. The small food stall grew into 3 stalls, then 5. Daniel insisted that they keep records of everything. Even though he couldn't read well, he understood money. One day, a businessman named Mr. Bello noticed Daniel working. He watched him handle transactions with incredible precision. Curious, he started asking questions. Then he offered Daniel a small job at his warehouse. Many workers laughed. A Down syndrome boy in a warehouse office? But within months, something unbelievable happened. Daniel spotted accounting mistakes no one else saw. Thousands of naira saved, then millions. Mr. Bello realized something powerful. Daniel's brain processed patterns differently, and that difference made him exceptional in business analysis. Over the next decade, Daniel rose through the company: assistant, supervisor, manager, director. People who once mocked him now sought his advice, because Daniel had one rule: honesty above everything. He refused corruption. He refused shortcuts. And slowly, the company grew stronger. Until one day the board made an announcement. The founder was retiring. A new president would lead the entire group. Executives looked at each other in disbelief. Some even protested. But the chairman stood firm. No one understands this company better than he does. The doors opened. Daniel walked in quietly. The same boy once called broken. The same child who couldn't speak for 2 years. The same boy society tried to hide. And now, he stood at the head of a multi-million-dollar company group. Daniel walked to the podium. His speech was slow, but every word carried weight. When I was young, people thought I was less. But being different does not mean being useless. Sometimes the world just needs time to understand you. The room fell silent. Some executives wiped tears from their eyes because they knew his story. They knew the pain he had survived. Daniel later created a foundation for children with disabilities, especially those who had suffered abuse. His message was simple: your past does not decide your future. The boy they tried to silence became a voice for thousands, and the child they once called broken built an empire.